Admiral HFY stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the stars through the massive viewing screen. His 4 eyes moved slowly as he studied the reports on his desk. The Krillian Empire controlled this part of space for over 300 years. Nothing moved through these systems without his permission. "Admiral," called sensor operator Veltar from his station. The young officer's voice carried a note of confusion. "I am detecting an unknown vessel at the edge of our patrol zone." HFY's primary eyes focused on the display, while his secondary eyes continued reading. "Show me the details." The main screen changed to show sensor readings. A small ship moved slowly through space, following what looked like a basic trade route. HFY studied the energy patterns. Something felt wrong. "This vessel does not match any ship in our database," Veltar reported. "The energy signature is unlike anything we have seen before." "Pirates?" asked Commander Rithnal, HFY's second officer. "No." Veltar shook his head. "Pirates use stolen Empire technology, or old salvaged parts. This ship shows none of those patterns." HFY moved closer to the sensor station. The readings made no sense. The ship appeared to be made of simple metals: steel, titanium, and basic composites. No exotic materials. No antimatter drives, no plasma weapons, nothing that should allow interstellar travel. "How is this vessel moving between stars?" HFY asked. "These materials cannot support hyperspace engines." Veltar checked his readings 3 times. "Admiral, I am detecting what appears to be a fusion drive system, but the efficiency readings are impossible. This drive should not work." The Admiral's 4 eyes narrowed. In 200 years of military service, he had never seen anything like this. Empire ships used antimatter cores and exotic matter manipulation. Every spacefaring species in the galaxy used similar technology. This ship looked like something from the early space age. "Open communication channels," HFY ordered. The communication officer nodded. "Channel open, Admiral. Unknown vessel. This is Admiral HFY of the Krillian Empire Fleet. You are entering restricted space. Identify yourself and state your purpose." The reply came quickly, in clear Empire Standard language. The voice was calm and steady. "Admiral HFY, this is Captain Min-Ji Wu, of the human vessel Determination. We request permission to pass through your space on our way to the neutral trading stations." HFY exchanged glances with his officers. "Human? We have no records of this species in our database." "Confirmed, Admiral," reported the intelligence officer. "No species called humans in any Imperial records." HFY activated the communication channel again. "Captain Min-Ji Wu, we are not familiar with your species or your vessel type. You will need to submit to inspection before we can grant passage." "Understood, Admiral." "We are happy to comply with your regulations." The Admiral found the response interesting. Most unknown ships either ran or demanded to know by what authority the Empire claimed this space. This captain simply agreed to follow the rules. "Commander Rithnal, take 3 ships and escort this vessel to Station Kethvar. Full sensor sweeps during transit. I want to know everything about this ship and these humans." Rithnal saluted and left the bridge. Within minutes, 3 Empire frigates moved to intercept the human ship. HFY watched the tactical display as his ships approached. The human vessel made no aggressive moves. It simply waited for the Empire ships to arrive, then followed their lead toward the station. Throughout the journey, the Empire sensors worked continuously, trying to understand the strange ship. "Admiral," Veltar called out. "The human ship is responding to our sensor scans with complete cooperation. They are not blocking any of our attempts to gather data." This puzzled HFY even more. Every species he knew tried to hide their technology secrets. Military vessels especially kept their capabilities hidden. Yet this human ship allowed full scans without resistance. The data coming back made no sense. The ship measured only 200 meters long. Empire frigates were twice that size. Empire battleships were 10 times larger. Yet the human ship had traveled between star systems with what appeared to be primitive technology. Their hull is made of steel alloys, reported the science officer, enhanced with some kind of carbon fiber weaving, but nothing exotic. Their power source appears to be nuclear fusion, but the efficiency rates are beyond our understanding. What about weapons? HFY asked. No plasma cannon, no particle beams, no antimatter torpedoes. I detect what appear to be kinetic weapons, metal projectiles fired at high speed. HFY's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. Kinetic weapons had not been used in serious military applications for over 1,000 years. They were primitive, inefficient, and easily stopped by energy shields. Are you certain about these readings? Yes, Admiral. But the mathematical models show these kinetic weapons have been designed with incredible precision. The projectiles appear to be programmable and capable of complex flight patterns. As the small convoy approached Station Kethvar, HFY made his decision. This required investigation by experts. He needed to understand how this primitive ship had achieved interstellar flight, and whether these humans represented a new threat or opportunity for the Empire. Send a message to Imperial Command, HFY ordered. Tell them, we have encountered an unknown species with impossible technology. Request a full science team and military analysts. The Admiral continued watching the human ship on his tactical display. Captain Min Ji-woo had answered every question honestly and followed every instruction without complaint. Yet something about the whole situation felt like a puzzle with missing pieces. Admiral, Veltar reported. The human ship is requesting permission to send a small delegation to the station. They want to meet with our officials, to discuss trade agreements and diplomatic relations. HFY considered this. Most first contact situations involved either fear, aggression, or attempts at deception. These humans seemed genuinely interested in peaceful interaction. Grant permission, but maintain full security protocols. I want to know everything about these humans before they leave our space. As Station Kethvar grew larger on the viewing screen, Admiral HFY wondered if he was witnessing the beginning of something that would change the Empire forever. The impossible ship and its mysterious crew had already challenged everything he thought he knew about technology and space travel. He had no idea how right he was. Chief Science Officer Korthak stepped through the airlock onto the human vessel, Determination. Behind him, 6 Empire scientists carried the most advanced scanning equipment available. They expected to find hidden technology, secret weapons, or some kind of deception. What they found instead made no sense at all. Welcome aboard, said Commander Park Soo-jin, the human first officer. She was smaller than most Empire species, with dark hair and calm eyes. Captain Min Ji-woo is waiting for you on the bridge. We are happy to show you anything you want to see. Korthak nodded with 2 of his 4 arms while his scanning equipment worked automatically. The corridor around them appeared to be made of simple steel, with some kind of polymer coating. Clean and functional, but nothing impressive. Your ship is very small, Korthak observed. How many crew members do you carry? 200, Park Soo-jin replied. We could operate with fewer, but regulations require minimum crew sizes for deep space missions. Korthak stopped walking. Empire frigates needed at least 800 crew members. Empire battleships required crews of 5,000. A ship this size should not be able to function with only 200 people. How do you maintain all systems with so few people? He asked. Park Soo-jin smiled. Each crew member trains in multiple specializations. Our engineers can also serve as pilots. Our medical staff understand navigation systems. Our weapons officers know how to repair communications equipment. They continued walking through the ship. Korthak's team took readings from every surface, every control panel, every piece of equipment they saw. The results remained impossible. "These fusion reactors?" said science specialist Velcora, studying her scanner. "They produce more energy than should be possible with these materials. The efficiency rate exceeds our theoretical maximums." Station Administrator Hicksval had joined the investigation team. He prided himself on understanding technology from across the Empire. Perhaps their fusion process uses techniques we have not discovered. Captain Min Ji-woo met them on the bridge. The command center looked surprisingly simple compared to Empire ship bridges. Fewer stations, fewer crew members, but everything operated smoothly. "Captain," Korthok said, "we would like to understand your propulsion systems. Our scans show fusion drives, but the performance data seems impossible." "Of course." Min Ji-woo gestured to her chief engineer. "Lee Hyun-soo can explain our engine design." Lee Hyun-soo can explain our engine design. Engineer Lee Hyun-soo was a compact woman with oil stains on her uniform. She looked like she spent more time working with machinery than sitting in meetings. "Our fusion drives use magnetic containment with quantum field manipulation," she explained. "We discovered that most species build their engines too large and too complex. We made ours smaller and more efficient." Korthok's scanning equipment analyzed the engine readings. The human fusion drives produced incredible thrust while using very little fuel. Empire antimatter engines were more powerful, but they required exotic fuel that cost millions of credits to produce. "Your computers," observed intelligence analyst Morseth. "They use quantum processing, but not in patterns we recognize. We use biological neural networks, combined with quantum cores," Park Soo-jin explained. "Human brains think differently than computer processors. We designed our systems to work with human thought patterns instead of against them." This explained something that had puzzled the Empire investigators. The human crew seemed to operate their ship through intuition as much as through technical knowledge. They made decisions quickly and rarely needed to consult multiple computer systems. "What about your weapons?" asked military analyst Kekstar. "We detect kinetic accelerators, but no energy weapons." Lee Hyun-soo led them to the weapons bay. The kinetic cannons looked almost primitive compared to Empire plasma weapons. Metal projectiles in simple storage systems. No exotic energy sources. No antimatter warheads. "These projectiles," Kekstar examined one of the rounds. "They are programmable?" "Yes," Lee Hyun-soo confirmed. "Each round contains its own guidance system and can adjust its flight path based on target movement. They can also change their impact characteristics depending on what they hit." Korthok ran calculations in his head. Simple kinetic weapons should be useless against modern energy shields, but his computer models showed these projectiles could punch through Empire defenses using frequency modulation and precise timing. "How do you navigate between star systems?" Station Administrator Hicksval asked. "We see no hyperspace beacon receivers." Captain Min Ji-woo smiled. "We use gravitational mapping and mathematical prediction models. Our computers analyze the gravity fields of stars, planets, and other objects to plot courses through space." This shocked the Empire investigators. Every spacefaring species used hyperspace beacons to navigate safely between systems. The beacons created a network of known safe routes. Traveling without them was considered impossible. "You navigate by reading gravity?" Korthok asked. "Space is not empty," explained navigator Kim Sang-woo. "Every object with mass creates gravity fields. We map these fields and use them like roads through space. It takes more calculation, but it allows us to travel anywhere, not just along beacon routes." The investigation continued for 6 hours. The Empire scientists examined every system on the human ship. The results remained consistently impossible. Everything worked better than it should. The crew operated more efficiently than seemed possible. The ship achieved capabilities that contradicted known science. "I do not understand," Korthok admitted to Captain Minji Wu. Your technology appears primitive, yet it outperforms our most advanced systems. How is this possible? We have been refining these systems for thousands of years, Minji Wu replied. Instead of always looking for new technology, we focused on perfecting what we had. Every generation made small improvements. Over time, those small improvements became large advantages. As the Empire team prepared to leave, science specialist Velcora asked one more question. Captain, what type of ship is this? A patrol vessel? A scout ship? Minji Wu exchanged glances with her crew. This is a standard patrol vessel. We have ships designed for exploration, trade, diplomacy, and other missions. What about military vessels? Military analyst Kekstar asked. What do your warships look like? None. Nunderman. This is one of our military vessels, Park Sujin answered. We do not separate our ships into military and civilian categories the way other species do. All of our ships can defend themselves and protect others when necessary. The Empire investigators returned to Station Kethvar with more questions than answers. Chief Science Officer Korthok spent the rest of the day writing his report. Every conclusion he reached seemed to contradict known facts about technology and physics. Station Administrator Hicksville called an emergency meeting with all department heads. We need to understand what we are dealing with. These humans have achieved something that should be impossible. Perhaps, suggested one of the analysts, we are looking at this wrong. Perhaps their approach to technology is simply different from ours. Different enough to change everything we know about engineering and space travel, Korthok replied. I recommend we request a full military assessment. We need to understand the implications of this technology for Empire security. As night fell on Station Kethvar, the Empire officials struggled to write reports that their superiors would believe. How do you explain that a primitive ship with a small crew outperforms the most advanced vessels in the galaxy? The human ship Determination remained docked at the station, its crew patiently answering questions and sharing information. They seemed genuinely interested in establishing friendly relations with the Empire. But the Empire officials were beginning to realize that everything they thought they knew about technology, military power, and space travel might be completely wrong. General Kexmore arrived at Station Kethvar 3 days after the initial contact. He brought with him the most advanced military analysis team in the Empire. His orders came directly from Imperial Command. Determine if these humans represented a threat. I have read the reports, Kexmore told Admiral Zexhai. Impossible technology. Incredible efficiency. Small crews. It sounds like either a miracle or a deception. I believe it is real, Zexhai replied. But I also believe we do not understand the full implications yet. Kexmore studied the tactical data from the human ship. 1 vessel, 200 crew members. Primitive weapons. Even if their technology is advanced, they cannot pose a serious military threat. Perhaps we should test that assumption, suggested Zexhai. The general agreed. He ordered a military assessment exercise. 3 Empire frigates would engage the human vessel in simulated combat. The exercise would use training weapons that could disable systems without causing permanent damage. Captain Yildara commanded the lead Empire frigate. She had 20 years of combat experience and had never lost a training exercise. Her ship carried the latest plasma weapons, energy shields, and antimatter torpedoes. The other 2 frigates were equally well equipped. This will be educational for both sides, General Kexmore announced to both fleets. The Empire vessels will test their tactics against unknown technology. The human vessel will demonstrate their capabilities under controlled conditions. Captain Minji Wu accepted the exercise conditions without hesitation. We are happy to participate. This will help us understand how our systems perform against Empire technology. Lieutenant Commander Lee Hyun-soo served as the tactical officer aboard Determination. She had studied the Empire ships during their stay at the station. Their weapons were powerful. Their shields were strong. but their tactics followed predictable patterns. All ships moved to exercise positions, General Kexmore commanded from his observation vessel. The 3 Empire frigates took standard attack formation. Triangle pattern. Overlapping fields of fire. Energy shields, at maximum power. Their plasma weapons charged to training levels that could disable enemy systems. The human ship moved to its starting position without any apparent formation or battle preparation. It simply waited. "Begin exercise," General Kexmore announced. Captain Yildara immediately ordered her ships to attack. The 3 Empire frigates accelerated toward the human vessel. Plasma weapons, firing in coordinated patterns. Their computers calculated intercept courses and optimal firing solutions. The human ship did something impossible. It moved in directions that no ship should be able to move. "How is that vessel changing direction so quickly?" Captain Yildara demanded. Her sensors officer studied the readings. "Their fusion drives are operating in patterns I have never seen. They are using the exhaust to create thrust in multiple directions simultaneously. While the Empire ships relied on computer targeting systems, the humans seemed to know where the Empire ships would move before they moved there. Determination dodged plasma bursts with precision that defied explanation. Target their engines," Captain Yildara ordered. The Empire ships focused their fire on the human vessel's propulsion systems. The plasma weapons should have disabled the fusion drives within minutes. Instead, the kinetic weapons from the human ship began hitting their targets with perfect accuracy. "Shield generators are fluctuating," reported the shield operator on Yildara's ship. "These kinetic projectiles are modulating their impact frequency to match our shield harmonics." The human projectiles were not just metal rounds. Each one adjusted its characteristics during flight, finding weaknesses in Empire energy shields that the Empire had never known existed. Lieutenant Commander Lee Hyun-soo studied the tactical display aboard Determination. The Empire ships were powerful but predictable. They relied on their technology instead of adapting to changing conditions. "Empire vessels are following standard attack pattern 7, she reported to Captain Min Ji-woo, adjusting countermeasures accordingly. The human ship began using the local environment as part of its tactical strategy. When the Empire ships tried to corner it near a large asteroid, Determination used the asteroid's gravity field to slingshot around it, gaining speed and changing direction in ways the Empire ships could not follow. "They are using gravitational fields for tactical maneuvering," observed Captain Yildara with amazement. "I have never seen anything like this." The Empire ships found themselves constantly reacting to human moves instead of executing their own battle plans. Every time they thought they had the human ship cornered, it would use some aspect of the local space environment to escape. 23 minutes into the exercise, the first Empire frigate lost all main systems. The human kinetic weapons had systematically disabled power generators, weapon systems, and engines without causing serious structural damage. "Frigate Kethmora is out of the exercise," General Kexmore announced. Captain Yildara ordered the remaining 2 ships to change tactics. Instead of trying to corner the human vessel, they would use their superior firepower to overwhelm it with concentrated fire. The new strategy failed even faster. The human ship seemed to anticipate every move the Empire vessels made. When they concentrated fire on one position, the human ship was already moving to a different location. "Their tactical predictions are beyond our understanding," reported the tactical officer on Yildara's ship. "They are not just reacting to our moves. They are predicting our decisions before we make them." The second Empire frigate lost power 37 minutes into the exercise. The third frigate lasted until the 47-minute mark before its systems went offline. General Kexmore stared at his tactical display in disbelief. 3 of the Empire's most advanced frigates had been completely outmaneuvered by a single human patrol vessel. "Exercise concluded," he announced. "All ships return to station." Captain Min Ji-woo contacted the Empire command vessel. "General Kexmore, we would be happy to share our tactical data with your crews. Perhaps we can help your ships improve their defensive capabilities." The offer shocked everyone on the Empire command vessel. The humans had just defeated 3 Imperial warships, and now they wanted to help the Empire become more effective in battle. "Why would you offer to help us?" General Kexmore asked. "Because stronger defenses mean safer space for everyone," Min Ji-woo replied. "We do not fight to dominate others. We fight to protect what matters." As the ships returned to Station Kethvar, the Empire officers tried to understand what they had witnessed. Their superior technology, larger crews, and more powerful weapons had been completely ineffective against human tactics and strategy. "They do not fight ships," observed Admiral Zex-High. "They fight the entire battlefield. Every asteroid, every gravity field, every energy pattern becomes part of their tactical plan." General Kexmore reviewed the battle recordings for hours. The human ship had never tried to destroy the Empire vessels. Instead, it had systematically disabled their systems while avoiding unnecessary damage. "They could have destroyed all 3 ships," he admitted to his staff. Instead, they chose to disable them safely. This suggests a completely different philosophy about warfare. The tactical data the humans provided showed techniques that no Empire military academy had ever taught. Ways to use natural phenomena as weapons. Methods for predicting enemy behavior based on psychological patterns, rather than computer models. "We have been thinking about space combat all wrong," concluded Captain Yildara. "We build bigger ships and stronger weapons. They build better strategies and more flexible tactics." That evening, General Kexmore sent an urgent message to Imperial Command. The message was simple, but revolutionary. "We have encountered a species that has solved warfare differently than anyone else in the galaxy. We need to reconsider everything we know about military strategy." The human ship, Determination, remained docked at the station, its crew still willing to answer questions and share knowledge. But now the Empire officers understood they were not just dealing with advanced technology. They were dealing with an entirely different way of thinking about power, conflict, and the use of force. And that difference changed everything. Empress Velthara had ruled the Galactic Empire for over 200 years. She had seen the rise and fall of dozens of species. She had commanded fleets that conquered entire star systems. Nothing in the galaxy surprised her anymore, until she read General Kexmore's report about the humans. The Empress arrived at Station Kethvar with a fleet of 50 ships, including her personal dreadnought, Eternal Glory. The massive vessel stretched over 2 kilometers long and carried enough firepower to destroy planets. "Where is this impossible human ship?" she demanded, as her shuttle docked at the station. Admiral Zex-High and General Kexmore met her at the airlock. Both officers appeared nervous, which surprised the Empress. These were veteran commanders who had faced the worst threats the galaxy could offer. "The human vessel remains docked at Base 7, Your Majesty," Admiral Zex-High reported. "They have been completely cooperative throughout our investigation." "Admiral. Cooperative?" The Empress studied the tactical reports on her personal display. "They defeated 3 Imperial frigates, and they are being cooperative?" "They offered to help our crews improve their defensive capabilities," General Kexmore explained. "They shared all their tactical data with our military analysts." The Empress found this behavior incomprehensible. Every species that had ever challenged Imperial military forces had either surrendered or demanded territory and resources. None had offered to help the Empire become stronger. "I want to meet their commander," she declared. Captain Min Ji-woo arrived at the station conference room, accompanied by a single officer. The Empress had expected a large diplomatic delegation with guards, advisors, and protocol specialists. Instead, she met 2 humans, carrying no weapons and showing no fear. "Your Majesty," Min Ji-woo said with a respectful bow. "This is Ambassador Chen Da-wei. He handles diplomatic matters for our government." Ambassador Chen Da-wei was an older man with gray hair and calm eyes. He looked completely relaxed, despite being surrounded by the most powerful military leaders in the galaxy. "Ambassador," the Empress said, Your species has appeared in Imperial space with impossible technology and defeated our warships in combat. Where is your fleet? Where is your empire? What do you want from us? Chen Dawei smiled. Your Majesty, I believe you are asking the wrong questions. The Empress had not been contradicted by anyone in over 50 years. Her forearms tensed, and her royal guards reached for their weapons. Chen Dawei remained calm. Explain, she commanded. You assume that we must have hidden fleets and secret territories because that is how your species thinks about power? Chen Dawei said. You measure strength by the size of armies and the number of conquered worlds. How else would one measure strength? Demanded Imperial Sage Morketh, the Empire's chief strategic advisor. Chen Dawei activated a small holographic projector. The display showed star charts of the entire galaxy, with thousands of ship movements marked in different colors. For the past 50 years, human vessels have been present throughout the galaxy, he explained. We have been protecting trade routes, defending colonies from pirates, and maintaining stability in neutral territories. The Empress studied the star charts. The human ship movements formed an intricate pattern across hundreds of systems. They were everywhere, but they had remained invisible to Imperial intelligence. You have been operating in Imperial space without permission for 50 years? The Empress demanded. We have been operating in space that belongs to everyone, Chen Dawei corrected. We do not recognize claims of ownership over entire star systems. General Kexmore examined the holographic display more carefully. These ship movements. You have been responding to every major crisis in the galaxy. Pirates attacking civilian transports, natural disasters affecting colonies, trade disputes between species. That is correct, Ambassador Chen confirmed. We believe that a stable galaxy benefits everyone. When trade routes are safe, all species prosper. When colonies are protected from disasters, civilization grows stronger. But what do you gain from this? Asked Imperial Sage Morketh. What tribute do you collect? What territories do you claim? Chen Dawei looked genuinely puzzled by the question. We gain a galaxy where our children can live safely. We gain trading partners and allies. We gain the knowledge that we have helped others instead of harming them. The Empress had conquered hundreds of worlds during her reign. Each conquest had brought more resources, more territory, more power to the Empire. But each conquest had also created more enemies, more rebellion, more problems to solve. Your ships are small because you do not need to conquer anyone, she realized. You protect instead of attacking. Exactly, Chen Dawei confirmed. Protection requires different tools than conquest. We do not need massive fleets because we are not trying to destroy other civilizations. Captain Minji Wu activated another display. Your Majesty, our technology appears primitive because we have spent thousands of years refining the fundamentals instead of pursuing exotic weapons. The display showed the evolution of human technology over time. Each generation had made small improvements to fusion drives, kinetic weapons, and navigation systems. Over thousands of years, those improvements had created technology that surpassed anything else in the galaxy. While other species built bigger ships, we built more efficient ships, Minji Wu explained. While others developed more destructive weapons, we developed more precise weapons. And while others expanded their territories, you expanded your understanding, added Imperial Sage Morketh, beginning to comprehend the human approach. Ambassador Chen Dawei showed them recordings of human ships in action across the galaxy. Every battle showed the same pattern. Humans arriving to help others. Humans defending civilians. Humans offering aid after conflicts ended. We discovered something that your empire has not learned, Chen Dawei said. The galaxy is not something to be conquered. It is something to be cared for. Chen Dawei. Chen Dawei. The Empress studied the recordings for a long time. She saw human ships working alongside dozens of different species. Former enemies becoming allies. Conflicts being resolved through cooperation instead of force. Your species sees the galaxy as one large community, she said slowly. You protect the community because you are part of it. Yes, Chen Dawei confirmed. We learned long ago that destroying our neighbors only makes us weaker. Helping our neighbors makes everyone stronger. The implications of this philosophy struck the Empress like a physical blow. The Empire controlled 1,000 worlds, but rebellions were constant. Military expenses consumed enormous resources. Every conquered species became a potential enemy. How many ships do you have? She asked. Thousands, Captain Min Ji-woo replied. Small ships, efficient crews, stationed throughout the galaxy, but they worked together instead of competing for resources. The Empress understood now why her intelligence services had never detected the human presence. They had been looking for threats, not for helpers. They had been searching for invasion fleets, not for patrol vessels protecting civilians. You could have destroyed my investigation fleet, the Empress said. 3 frigates. Then, my dreadnought. Why did you not attack us? Chen Dawei smiled again. Because we are not your enemies, Your Majesty. We would prefer to be your allies. For the first time in centuries, Empress Velthara realized that she had found something more valuable than conquest. She had found a species that could teach the Empire how to become something better than it was. Ambassador Chen, she said formally, I believe we need to discuss the future of imperial space policy. Outside the conference room, a revolution in galactic thinking was about to begin. 2 weeks after her meeting with Ambassador Chen Dawei, Empress Velthara faced the biggest decision of her reign. The human proposal challenged everything the Empire had believed about power and strength. They want us to reduce our military fleets by 60%, General Kexmore reported during the morning briefing. They claim we can maintain better security with smaller, more efficient forces. They want us to convert conquest vessels into protection vessels, added Admiral Zex Hai. Ships designed to help other species, instead of defeating them. Imperial Sage Morketh studied the detailed proposals the humans had provided. Your Majesty. Their mathematical models show that cooperative defense networks are more effective than individual military forces. The Empress had spent her entire life expanding imperial territory through military conquest. The human approach seemed impossible, yet their results throughout the galaxy proved it worked. A priority communication interrupted the meeting. Commander Vex Thor appeared on the emergency display, his image distorted by distance and interference. Your Majesty, he reported from the frontier systems. We have a crisis developing in the Kellinar sector. Pirate fleets are attacking civilian colonies. They have superior numbers, and our nearest battle groups are 3 days away. This was exactly the kind of crisis that Imperial forces struggled to handle. Their massive battleships were powerful but slow. By the time they arrived, the pirates would have completed their raids and disappeared. How many civilian populations are at risk? The Empress asked. 17 colonies, Your Majesty. Approximately 2 million beings. Captain Min Ji-woo stepped forward. Your Majesty, we have patrol vessels in that sector. We can respond immediately. The Empress hesitated. Allowing human ships to handle an imperial crisis would admit that imperial forces were inadequate. But 2 million civilian lives were at stake. Do it, she decided. Captain Min Ji-woo contacted her ship. All human vessels in Kellinar sector, respond to imperial emergency. Coordinate with local imperial forces for civilian protection mission. Within minutes, 12 human patrol ships converged on the crisis zone. Commander Zara Kim led the human response from her vessel, Swift Current. Imperial Command, this is Commander Kim, she reported. We have visual contact with the raider fleets. 47 enemy vessels attacking 6 colonies simultaneously. General Kexmore studied the tactical display. The human ships were vastly outnumbered. Each human patrol vessel faced multiple pirate ships. They cannot win this battle, he told the Empress. They should withdraw and wait for imperial reinforcements. Instead, something remarkable happened. The human ships did not attack the pirate fleets directly. They began coordinating with Imperial forces in ways no one had seen before. Imperial vessels. This is Commander Kim. We are transmitting real-time tactical data to your ships. Follow our lead, and we can save all the colonies. Commander Vex Thor received detailed information about pirate ship movements, weapon capabilities, and probable escape routes. The human ships were sharing their advanced sensor data with Imperial forces. How are they tracking so many targets simultaneously? Vex Thor asked in amazement. Each human ship links its sensors with all other human ships in the area, Commander Kim explained. We see the entire battlefield as one connected system. The human ships began executing a strategy that Imperial military academies had never taught. Instead of trying to destroy all the pirate vessels, they focused on protecting the civilian populations while creating opportunities for Imperial ships to be more effective. Human vessel Swift Current is moving to intercept Pirate Squadron Alpha, reported the tactical officer. They are not engaging directly. They are forcing the pirates to change course toward Imperial vessels, Beta and Gamma. Admiral Zexhai watched the battle unfold on the command center displays. The human ships were acting as force multipliers, making Imperial vessels more effective than they had ever been in previous engagements. The humans are using pirate ship movements against themselves, observed General Kexmore. They predict where pirates will go, then position our ships to take advantage. The battle lasted 4 hours. When it ended, all 17 colonies were safe. The pirate fleets had been scattered or captured. Most importantly, both human and Imperial forces had achieved victory with minimal casualties. Commander Kim, the Empress contacted the human leader directly. Your ships saved 2 million lives today. We all saved those lives, Your Majesty, Commander Kim replied. Human ships, Imperial ships, working together. Neither of our forces could have achieved this victory alone. This statement revolutionized how the Empress viewed military cooperation. Human ships provided capabilities that Imperial forces lacked. Imperial ships provided capabilities that human forces needed. Together, they were stronger than either could be separately. Ambassador Chen, the Empress announced during their next meeting, the Empire accepts your proposal for military cooperation. The formal alliance agreement took 3 months to negotiate. The Empire would reduce the size of its conquest fleets and increase the number of protection vessels. Human advisors would help train Imperial crews in new tactical methods. Imperial resources would support human patrol operations throughout the galaxy. 6 months later, Admiral Zexhai stood on the bridge of his flagship, working alongside Captain Minji Wu. Their joint patrol had just completed a successful rescue mission in the Outer Territories. Your tactical methods are becoming instinctive to our crews, Zexhai told her. Imperial officers now think about protecting civilians before they think about defeating enemies. Captain Minji Wu smiled. And human crews are learning to use Imperial resources more effectively. Your ships carry equipment that makes our missions much more successful. The transformation of Imperial space policy had effects throughout the galaxy. Species that had feared Imperial expansion now welcomed Imperial protection. Trade routes became safer. Conflicts were resolved through cooperation instead of conquest. The Empire spans 1,000 worlds, Empress Velthera announced during a galaxy-wide broadcast. But today, we begin a new age. An age where we measure success by how many species we help, not by how many worlds we conquer. The human approach to galactic civilization was spreading. Other species began adopting similar philosophies. Military cooperation replaced military competition. Protection replaced conquest. Commander Zara Kim met with the Empress 1 year after the first human contact. Your Majesty, our joint patrols have prevented 43 conflicts and protected over 50 million civilians. And our military expenses have decreased by 30%, while our effectiveness has improved dramatically, the Empress replied. Your species has taught us something more valuable than any conquered territory. What is that? Commander Kim asked. You taught us that true strength comes from helping others become strong, the Empress explained. When we make our neighbors stronger, we become stronger ourselves. The human warship, Determination, remained at Station Kethvar as a permanent diplomatic and training facility. Imperial officers came there to learn human tactical methods. Human engineers worked with Imperial scientists to develop new technologies. Admiral Zexhai often stood in the observation deck, watching human and Imperial crews working together. The impossible ship that had appeared at the edge of Imperial space had changed everything. You could not fathom what you saw when we first met, Captain Minji-Woo said, joining him at the viewing screen. We saw a primitive ship that should not have been able to travel between stars, Zexhai admitted. We could not understand how something so small could be so capable. And now? Minji-Woo asked. Admiral Zexhai watched human and Imperial engineers working side by side, sharing knowledge and solving problems together. Now I understand that we were looking at the wrong things. We saw weapons and technology. We should have been looking at philosophy and purpose. The galaxy had learned a new way to be strong. Not through conquest, but through cooperation. Not through domination, but through protection. The human approach had created something that no empire in galactic history had ever achieved. Lasting peace through mutual strength. The impossible had become inevitable.